Deuteronomy 18, verses 9 through 14. Quote, "And when thou shalt have entered into the land which Yah thy Elohim gives thee, thou shalt not learn to do according to the abominations of those nations. There shall not be found in thee one who purges his son or his daughter with fire, one who uses divination, who deals with omens and augury, a sorcerer employing incantation, one who has in him a divining spirit, an observer of signs, questioning the dead. For everyone that does these things is an abomination to Yah thy Elohim. For because of these abominations, Yah will destroy them from before thy face. Thou shalt be perfect before Yah thy Elohim. For all these nations, whose land thou shalt inherit, they will listen to omens and divinations, but Yah thy Elohim has not permitted thee so to do." End quote. The Canaanites were off into some heavy stuff. I will prove every abomination of the nations are connected to the gods they worship. The Most High Yah told us not to follow nor bow down to them. The Canaanites are still doing these abominations. The religions of today themselves are doing the same detestable acts. Every modern day religion, custom, practice, or tradition are tied directly to the gods of old. Nothing new under the sun. The gods of old have either been renamed and repackaged. Every single religion and their god, gods, or goddesses are the same gods the Most High has called out numerous times within the pages of Scripture. Ever wonder why the nations and their religions do the things that they do? It goes back to Canaan and their gods. The Canaanites were purging their children with fire, using divination, dealing with omens, auguries, sorcerers employing incantations, having the spirit of divination, observer of signs, and talking to the dead, better known as necromancy. Seems as though Canaan was troubled from his birth. Maybe that incest really messed him up big time. Most of Canaan were massacred for these acts, but remember, Yah did say he wasn't going to completely wipe them out, because he was going to lead some nations around to see if we believe his words or the lies of the gods of the nations. What do you think happened? Check out what the Most High Yah commanded us to do to those witches and wizards. Exodus chapter 22, verse 18, first in the Septuagint, then in the KJV. Exodus 22 and 18, quote, "Ye shall not save the lives of sorcerers." Now for the KJV, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live." End quote.
I just got one quick question. Y'all
Hell no, I don't fuck this.
Don't you hear?
Why not?
I'll use a witch.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess I'll do.
I got respect for you. I'm sorry for talking about your feet earlier. I don't want no smoke.
Oh, okay.
Don't put nothing on me, please.
At all.
I've been going through a lot.
You can actually come to me, I can help you.
I was told, don't even. I hate that I smelt you now. You done scared the hell out of me.
For real?
Hell yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What if I have somebody in this room that came to me for service and they can give me a good rating? That would make you feel a little better?
I don't want no reading.
No?
I just want to trust in God, let God direct my path.
I trust in
Our
God.
Lord rebuke the devil in the name
What
of
you
Jesus.
mean?
You said I don't recall. What the you said?
I said, what if there's somebody in this room that done got some of my services and they can give me a good rating? Would you feel more comfortable?
What kind of services?
I do readings, rituals.
Oh hell no.
Yeah, I'm a witch. I do voodoo, yeah. It's nothing to be scared about. I mean, if you cross that way, then, we can get wicked.
Every modern translation says the exact same thing. The differences are as small as the differences between every cult camp's core doctrine. There is a slight difference once you start to study the Hebrew. However, don't get it twisted. The sentiment stays the same. Witches and sorcerers are so prevalent today, some churches have warned the idolaters to watch out for witches, like this woman here.
What is a Christian witch, precisely? What is that? People ask me that question all the time. What is a Christian witch? A Christian witch is very simple. It's simply a witch, a person who knows that they are magical, who also has the desire, the intention to live a Christ-led life. It's very simple. I mean, I never really understood what the complication was about with regard to being a Christian witch. To me, it seems very clear cut. It's very easily understandable. It's a witch that likes Christ, that loves Christ. What's up with that? It can happen. It has happened. I'm here. And I will also let you know that there are so many people now that have stepped out of the woodworks, who also know and email me and call and write and say, I think I'm a Christian witch. I'm in the church, but I love the tarot deck. I'm in the church, but I'm afraid to pick up these crystals. I want to go and look at and get a reading, but I'm afraid. I got a secret for you, because on this channel, we're going to tell the truth and we're going to really put it out there. We're going to change the world. I give more readings to Christians probably than to any other group of people. So you can be Christian and a witch. I've done it. I am it. Many others are it. You can be it as well. And it's simpler than you think. It's simply a statement and a way of living. And we integrate Christ and the craft. I love you. ChristianWitches.com. Be blessed.
The word of Yah says that witches nor sorcerers should draw breath on Yah's green earth. She said she is a witch that absolutely loves JC, a false creator God who allowed himself to be killed by his own creation.
Israel has a right to defend itself.
Is now allowing those that follow him to do witchcraft in his name. Opposite of what we just read the Most High would do, strike them down with the quickness if they ever called upon his name while doing such detestable deeds. This world currently does not know who the Most High Yah is. That's the reason why the nations do the things that they do. They've never seen nor heard the light. Now, to prove how far these evil heathens have taken it, look at this liquid death water commercial.
Have you ever heard of a real witch summoning demons and trapping them inside cans of water? Inside this very warehouse sits the entire inventory of liquid death mountain water. Each can is about to be infused with real demons by a real witch.
A lot of what I practice can be considered traditional witchcraft.
What you're about to witness is very real, very dangerous, and in my opinion, a terrible idea.
We enter into the dark half of the year. Now is the time of the dead. I ask you, spirits, those who are listening, I invite you here. I offer this water as a vessel for you to come into this world. When the cans are opened, you are released. I welcome you. Now is the time of the dead.
Demon-infused liquid death. If you drink it, will you become possessed?
If water just isn't your thing, don't worry. They have energy drinks with the same incantations on them. This isn't the only company nor industry that uses witches to enchant their products. According to those in the craft, enchantments are much stronger than spells. To my surprise, I thought they were the same thing. Ex-Satanist John Todd said that every music company uses sorcerers employing incantations on the master copy of every album of every genre of music that you can think of. Listen to his words if you don't believe me.
I was the manager of Zodiac Productions, which Zodiac Productions, its name's been changed since then. I'm not even sure what to call it now, but it's the largest music conglomerate in the world. It owns RCA Records, Columbia Records, Motown Records, owns almost all the concert booking agencies in the United States. And that's not even the name of the company that owns it. The name of the company that owns it is Brenner Enterprises, and Brenner Enterprises is owned by Chase Manhattan. Chase Manhattan's owned by Standard Oil, and Standard Oil is owned by the Lords of London. You can track it on back. You kind of get the idea after a while. But I was the managing president of Zodiac Productions. It's one of my jobs as being one of these 13 people. Thus, I got to know many of the people who produce music and sing the music and play the music that you play. Now, one of the closest friends that I got during that time that I obtained was a man named David Crosby. I said, David, I'd like to ask you a couple questions. I said, I already know the answers, but I've been gone for 5 years. I'd like to know if certain things are still the way they were when I left. I said, do they still take the master to the temple room? Dave said, yeah. I said, do they still have the coven conjure demons into the master? He said, of course. I said, now, I got to know something. What's the main reason for rock music? He says, the same as when you were in, so that we can play spells on people that we couldn't cast spells upon. The master is a tape about as big as the top of this podium that looks like an overgrown 8-track that the album is cut on, and it's placed in a machine that produces and presses the records and the 8-tracks and cassettes that you buy. After it's been recorded, it's taken in. This is why a master's cut months in advance before it's released. On the full moon, it's taken in to a temple room about the size of this auditorium that is in every one of the major music companies, behind locked doors up in the executive office. And it's placed on an altar, sitting in the north of the room, and a pentagram engraved in the floor. And 13 hand-chosen witches and wizards and a coven come in and conjure a principality or a power up, usually Regia or something like that, and order him to tell the demons under him to follow every record and every tape coming off of that master. I said, okay, one last thing. I've been hearing that you must be an initiated witch now to get a record contract. He said, that's right. He said, many of us that weren't total witches have to be witches now in order to produce music.
I went around with a band that, I won't name them, but a satanic rock band, and all their music was very wicked. And one day I just asked him, I said, where do you get those horrible songs that you write? And he said to me, we all get in a room and the songs just come. We know that to be automatic writing. And he said, the songs just come, we write them down, we record them, and then we take the master tape to a witch coven and they pray over it. So that when we press the records and they go into people's homes, demons go home with each record.
They are casting enchantments, witchcraft, and sorceries upon everyone on the earth. This here is real, and not just an archaic belief rooted in superstition. Their own religions, traditions, and what they are willing to tell us tells us otherwise. Joshua chapter 23, verses 6 through 9. Quote, do you therefore strive diligently to observe and do all things written in the book of the law of Moses, that ye turn not to the right hand or to the left, that ye go not in among these nations that are left, and the names of their gods shall not be named among you. Neither shall ye serve them, neither shall ye bow down to them, but ye shall cleave to Yah your Elohim, as ye have done until this day. And Yah shall destroy them before you, even great and strong nations, and no one has stood before us until this day. End quote. This passage proves several truths. The most important is to diligently observe to do all things written in the book of the law of Moses. Please remember not to turn to the right or to the left hand and fall off the path that leads directly to the Most High. Another is the saying of the names of the gods of these nations is an abomination to the Most High Yah. Naming their names, serving, and bowing down to them. We were never created to do such things. By partaking in the nation's religions, you are naming the names of their gods, serving and bowing down to them, while also being defiant to the Most High Yah's will. Lastly, there is an argument by those who say that the Bible is the white man's book. They have said, since there are several nations and religions that predate the Israelites and Yah is a copycat of a Canaanite god, their words, not mine, put those stones down, family. We should leave this Most High stuff alone and follow another God in their customs. The Torah and the Tanakh are the only holy texts on the face of the earth, bar none. Burn that Yah-damned Christian Bible. Our holy books not only mentions the so-called gods of the nations, but it also tells them their destruction and the destruction of those nations for doing such abomination. The fate of all the nations who have tried and succeeded with leading us astray from the Most High Yah will be destroyed before our faces. Even great and strong nations. Mr. Charlie Christian America, did you just hear your fate? You and your ancestors led us astray into the arms of Lucifer himself. And just as Lucifer, your fate is already written in stone. You'll see why I said that a little later on. Isaiah chapter 26, verses 14 through 15. Quote, but the dead shall not see life, neither shall physicians by any means raise them up. Therefore, thou hast brought wrath upon them and slain them, and hast taken away every male of them. Bring more evils upon them, O Yah. Bring more evils upon the glorious ones of the earth. End quote. The physicians will try to create their own version of a resurrection for the ones who gave them their power. Even with their powerful witchcraft, the Most High Yah said that the dead will stay dead, and those doctors won't be able to use their witchcraft, incantations, or divinations hoping to bring the dead back. They are currently experimenting with animals, trying to bring back extinct animals. Soon, they'll try to bring back the kings written within Scripture and the Nephilim. Physicians, better known as doctors, deal directly with pharmakia, which is straight up witchcraft. They call it medicine today, but the same underlying principle stays the same. I believe the entire medical industry is straight up witchcraft, mixing potions together to give to the sheeple of the world. The pandemic should leave no doubt to this. People are still feeling the effects of their potions to look like medicine, or worse, a cure.
I'd like to call to order this secret conclave of America's media empires. We're here to come up with the next phony baloney crisis to put Americans back where they belong, in dark rooms glued to their televisions, too terrified to skip the commercials.
Well, I think...
NBC, you are here to listen and not speak. I think we should go with a good old-fashioned public health scare.
A new disease. No one's immune. It's like the summer of the shark, except instead of a shark, it's an epidemic. And instead of summer, it's all the time.
That is so...
Now, I hate to be the guy who derails what everybody else loves.
He loves being that guy.
But, Janice, we do have standards. This can't be a made-up disease. The only moral thing to do is release a deadly virus into the general public.
We do have something we've been holding on to, but it hasn't been tested. Get over here, NBC.
Well, we certainly believe in testing, but
Wow. Oh, yeah.
So, we've got our deadly disease. Now, we just have to blame it on something that's in every household, something that people are a little bit afraid of already. House cat flu is coming, people. The Center for Disease Disinformation predicts with some degree of probability that the house cat flu might spread in the following hypothetical outbreak pattern. So, petter beware, that warm body on your lap just might be ready to destroy your tender victuals. Springfielders are advised to stay tuned for more information if they experience any of the following symptoms: mild thirst, occasional hunger, tiredness at night.
There was a doctor who lied to his patients about them having cancer to beguile them into getting that poison, chemotherapy, shot into their bodies, only to line his wicked-ass heathen pockets.
The government says a man who took an oath to do no harm instead turned more than 500 of his patients into victims in a shocking case of medical fraud. Today in Detroit, the doctor listened as some of these patients and their families told in court how he ruined their lives with unnecessary cancer treatments. Here's Dean Reynolds.
Courtroom sketches could not adequately capture the anguish of the victims today as one by one they confronted the cancer doctor who prescribed aggressive chemotherapy for patients he knew were not ill, and for those who were, ordering treatments that were excessive while billing Medicare $34 million. In court, Dr. Fareed Fatah showed no emotion for a man who prosecutors said would bully and browbeat patients who dared to question his treatment. Expert witnesses took the stand to describe the overuse of chemotherapy. One drug, rituximab, is typically given 8 times for aggressive lymphoma, but Dr. Fatah prescribed it to one patient 94 times.
If you truly want to heal yourself, just take a walk around the driveway. Isn't that right, Billy Joe Bob?
What do you see when you see weeds in the driveway? Let me show you what I see. You look down a weedy driveway, I actually see an apothecary or a medicine cabinet. Take dandelion, for instance. It's edible, highly nutritious, and has a slew of medicinal properties. It's a great detox herb. Every single part of the plant is edible and usable. So all in all, that's probably one of the best additions to your yard. Right next to that, we have plantain. This is broadleaf plantain. If you remember the term plantain for pain, this is a pain-relieving herb. It's edible. It can be eaten like spinach or raw in a salad. Highly nutritious, extremely good for your body. It's good for your digestion. It can help heal internal wounds, and, of course, it's a pain reliever. Just off the driveway, this is called sow thistle. This will have giant leaves or flowers just like a dandelion, and those thorns, when the plant is this small, those thorns aren't really very thorny. This plant is also super nutritious. It's a detox herb just like dandelion, and it shares many of the same properties. A little bit of wild violet. Wild violet is a medicinal plant. It's good for coughs. It's good for pain. It can be used internally or externally, made into a tea or a capsule. This plant can also help break a fever. It's been used for thousands of years medicinally, and it's actually a really good plant to have. Wild violet, we have another purple flower. There is Creeping Charlie. Creeping Charlie, also called ground ivy, is actually a member of the mint family. It is safe enough for young children and infants, strong enough for a full-grown man. It's really good for your digestion. It can be used for a wound healer. It can also help break a fever, and it's also highly nutritious. Close to our dandelion, we have chicory. Chicory is a great plant, very closely related to dandelion, though it has a purple flower and not a yellow one. Every part of this plant is also edible, and the root contains a compound called inulin, which your body absorbs just like insulin. Chicory also has the unique ability to be able to break the barrier in your brain that tells your brain you want more when people have addictions. They've actually used it for some pretty strong addiction-related illnesses. Further into the driveway, we have a plant that's called wintercress. Wintercress is popping up all over. It's one of the first edible plants that's available in the spring. The plant has a lot of medicinal properties. This is also a very good lung herb. It can help with pneumonia. It's antimicrobial. It's nutritious. And you can use it in many different ways. You can eat it raw, you can put it into a capsule, turn it into an extract, whatever works for you. Some burdock that's back in the back of the driveway. This plant is also highly nutritious. The leaves are very nutritious and edible. The root is very healing. It's anti-inflammatory. It's actually a main ingredient for a compound called Easiac, which is an anti-cancer compound. Really healthy. Next to that, we have what's called longleaf plantain, narrowleaf plantain. It is exactly like the other plantain I showed you, plantain for pain. It can be eaten the same way. It has all the same nutrients. All in all, this is a pretty good plant too. And then we have yellow dock, or curly dock. Depends on what you want to call it. If the leaves are more curly, it's curly dock, but a dock is a dock. Here, dock, there, dock, everywhere, dock. Yellow dock root has inulin in it, just like dandelion and chicory. It can be absorbed in your body just like insulin. It's anti-inflammatory. They're highly nutritious. You could cook the roots just like you would your carrots. But not least, or what's going to be, black-eyed Susans. These plants get very invasive at times. They're the large yellow and black flowers. They're closely related to echinacea. They have the ability to increase your T-cell production. They are an immunomodulator. Every part of this plant is also edible and highly nutritious. So that's what I see when I walk down the driveway. Maybe later, let's take a walk in the yard and I'll show you the apothecary that's in the yard. What do you think? Let me know in the comments.
This is the medicine the Most High made for you to heal yourself, not the Rockefeller Petroleum chemical drugs. This next passage is one of the main reasons for this video. The Most High is about to command Uncle Ezekiel to set his face against the daughters of thy people. From the last video, we should all know what that means. You might ask, for what? Let's read it, shall we? Ezekiel chapter 13, verses 17 through 23, quote, "And thou, son of man, set thy face firmly against the daughters of thy people that prophesies out of their own heart, and prophesy against them. And thou shalt say, Thus saith Yah, woe to the women that sew pillows under every elbow and make kerchiefs on the head of every stature to pervert souls. The souls of my people are perverted, and they have saved souls alive. And they have dishonored me before my people for a handful of barley and for pieces of bread, to slay the souls which should not die, and to save alive the souls which should not live, while ye speak to a people hearing vain speeches. Therefore, thus saith Yah Elohim, Behold, I am against your pillows, whereby ye there confound souls, and I will tear them away from your arms, and I will set at liberty their souls which ye pervert to scatter them. And I will tear your kerchiefs, and I will rescue my people out of your hands, and they shall no longer be in your hands to be confounded, and ye shall know that I am Yah. Because you have perverted the hearts of the righteous, whereas I perverted him not, and that in order to strengthen the hands of the wicked, that he should not at all turn from his evil way and live. Therefore, ye shall not see false visions, and ye shall no more utter prophecies, but I will deliver my people out of your hand, and ye shall know that I am Yah." End quote. There's so much to cover here. Let's begin with what pervert means. Pervert means to alter something from its original course, meaning, or state to a distortion or corruption of what was first intended, or a person whose sexual behavior is regarded as abnormal or unacceptable. Both definitions apply in this case. Yah never perverted us in any shape, form, or fashion. As it is written, the daughters of Uncle Ezekiel's people' main objective was to strengthen the hands of the wicked. But wait, there's more. They dishonored the Most High Yah before us for a handful of barley and pieces of bread, meaning dirty deeds done dirt cheap. All this wickedness for a handful of barley and just pieces of bread. Probably that old moldy stale bread from the end pieces that nobody wants. In the future, souls will be sold or taken for barley and pieces of bread. Zion, question. For the barley and bread to be their rewards, who gave them their marching orders? I might have an answer a little later on. Furthermore, Their pillows and kerchiefs confounded our souls so much that Yah himself has to tear us from their arms to set us at liberty. Could this mean we are being forced, beguiled, or even pigeonholed into perverting our own souls? Yah never taught us anything unholy or perverse. This is the main charge against the nations and their gods. They taught us this wickedness. Whether we chose to do it on our own or the monkey see, monkey do effect came to pass, as we see before our faces today. The daughters became a stumbling block for those who woke up from their enchantments, trying to turn from the evil, just to keep them on the path that leads to death, destruction, and misery, the vain speeches part. Therefore, the Most High will no longer allow them to see their false visions, nor utter their vain prophecies, and the only Savior we have ever known will save his people. Now, I personally don't think that it's all the daughters of thy people, but the text is written as it is. Check out what Uncle Isaiah chapter 3 says about the chief daughters of Zion. You know, the black women that all black women want to be like. I think they call them city girls. Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 17, quote, "Therefore Yah will humble the chief daughters of Zion, and Yah will expose their form in that day," end quote. So, did the chief daughters give them their marching orders? And if so, who gave the chief daughters of Zion their orders? We know it wasn't Yah. The Most High will humble and expose their form in that day. Could this day be the day of Yah? So many questions and not enough answers. I sense some doubt from the Luciferian co-campers and the Christians about souls being hot commodities in the near future. The book that you esteem to have every end-time prophecy in it says this:
merchandise of gold and silver, and precious stones, and of pearls and fine linen, and purple and silk and scarlet, and all fine wood, and all manner vessels of ivory, and all manner vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men.
I told you, this false book says slaves, which could be man, woman, and child. So please explain to me what souls of men could be then. No doubt about it, souls will be sold in the future like hotcakes. As usual, this was stolen from the pages of the Tanakh. Burn the New Testament now. Remember in the last video when I kept saying that our souls have been defiled? Well, this very same New Testament is one of the instruments that has helped defile us and our Israelite culture by overlaying Christianity on top of it. Every repentant Israelite heart should hurt after hearing this. Isaiah chapter 51, verses 17 through 23, quote, "Awake, awake, stand up, O Jerusalem. Thou hast drank at the hand of Yah the cup of his fury. For thou hast drank out and drained the cup of calamity, the cup of wrath. And there was none to comfort thee of all the children whom thou borest, and there was none to take hold of thine hand, not even of all the children whom thou hast reared. Wherefore these things are against thee. Who shall sympathize with thee in thy grief? Downfall and destruction, famine and sword. Who shall comfort thee? Thy sons are the perplexed ones that sleep at the top of every street as a half-boiled beef. They that are full of the anger of Yah, caused to faint by Yah Elohim. Therefore hear, thou afflicted one, and drunken, but not with wine. Thus saith Yah Elohim that judges his people. Behold, I have taken out of thy hand the cup of calamity, the cup of my wrath, and thou shalt not drink it any more. And I will give it into the hands of them that injured thee, and them that afflicted thee, who said to thy soul, bow down, that we may pass over. And thou didst level thy body with the ground, to them passing by without. End quote. Yes, we are just as guilty of this as our ancestors were. You can't just say this was our ancestors and now we today have the fighting spirit of Yah on us. Nah, that's not what happened. They did this and we are doing this today as well. They said to our souls, bow down that we may pass over, and we leveled our bodies with the ground so they could pass over without any struggles. Yeah, this is talking about our trifling asses today. We have already gone over the half-boiled beat reference and likened it to the cult camp street harassing people, getting them to worship a black Lucifer. I figured the reason for the nation's harsh punishment isn't only that they touched our souls with their cruelness and their hatred towards us, which was a big no-no. Our souls belong to Yah, and they touched our souls. I believe because the crackers in the nations were so cruel to us, especially that fake Esau, that we thought that conforming to their way of life would put us on equal ground with the devil. How vain and stupid. Yah gave our ancestors their heart's desire to be like the nations, and our lives have been in the middle of the furnace of affliction upon our births. Yah said that he is going to take the cup of calamity and the cup of wrath out of our hands. Regardless of what the beige man has done to us, it was Yah who afflicted us and caused the calamity to come upon us by the hands of these heathens. Yah gave the strong into the weak's hands. Really understand that. Yah gave the strong into the hands of the weak. Question: where would the so-called white man be without their guns? Funny thing is, Yah pretty much planned all of this. Zechariah chapter 8, verses 14 through 15. Quote, "For thus saith Yah Almighty, as I took counsel to afflict you when your fathers provoked me, saith Yah Almighty, and I repented not, so have I prepared and taken counsel in those days to do good to Jerusalem and to the house of Judah. Be you of good courage." End quote. The Most High took counsel to afflict us, and now he is currently in counsel to do good to us. Be of good courage, Zion. This kingdom is over. What we see today are just the fumes of the fumes keeping this place going. Zion, please stop bowing down to these nations and their gods, figuratively, physically, and spiritually. If you're like me and want to see Yah's plan in totality, cry to him and diligently strive to keep all things written in the book of the law of Moses. 1 Samuel chapter 28 and verse 3, quote, "And Samuel died, and all Israel lamented for him, and they buried him in his city in Armathane. And Saul had removed those who had in them divining spirits and the wizards out of the land." End quote. I read this to establish the fact that Uncle Samuel died while Saul was still king and before David became his successor. Another reference to wizards and witches. Saul did do something right. He removed the abominations out of the land. As we continue reading, Saul's goodness doesn't last too much longer. 1 Samuel chapter 28 verses 7 through 19, quote, "Then Saul said to his servants, Seek for me a woman who has in her a divining spirit, and I will go to her and inquire of her. And his servant said to him, Behold, there is a woman who has in her a divining spirit at Endor. And Saul disguised himself and put on other raiment. And he goes, and the two men with him, and they come to the woman by night. And he said to her, Divine to me, I pray thee, by the divining spirit within thee, and bring up to me him whom I shall name to thee. And the woman said, Behold now, thou knowest what Saul has done, how he has cut off those who have in them divining spirits and the wizard from the land. And why doest thou spread a snare for my life to destroy it? And Saul swore to her and said, As Yah lives, no injury shall come upon thee on this account. And the woman said to him, Whom shall I bring up to thee? And he said, Bring up to me Samuel. And the woman saw Samuel and cried out with a loud voice. And the woman said to Saul, Why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul. And the king said to her, Fear not, tell me what thou hast seen. And the woman said to him, I saw gods ascending out of the earth. And he said to her, What didst thou perceive? And she said to him, An upright man ascending out of the earth, and he was clothed with a mantle. And Saul knew that it was Samuel, and he stooped with his face to the earth and did obeisance to him. And Samuel said, Why hast thou troubled me that I should come up? And Saul said, I am greatly dishonored, and the Philistines war against me, and Elohim has departed from me, and no longer hearkens to me, either by the hand of the prophet or by dreams. And now I have called thee to tell me what I shall do. And Samuel said, Why askest thou me, whereas Yah has departed from thee, and taken part with thy neighbor? And Yah has done to thee as Yah spoke by me. And Yah will rend thy kingdom out of thy hand and will give it to thy neighbor David, because thou didst not hearken to the voice of Yah, and thou didst not execute his fierce anger upon Amalek. Therefore Yah has done this thing to thee this day. And Yah shall deliver Israel with thee into the hands of the Philistines. And tomorrow thou and thy sons with thee shall fall. And Yah shall deliver the army of Israel into the hands of the Philistines. End quote. The very first seed of man king of all of Israel saw the woman who had in her a divining spirit. What does it mean to have a divining spirit? He saw the woman who would question the dead. Saul didn't diligently strive to keep the law of Moses. He wanted to ask the soul of Uncle Samuel what his fate would ultimately be. Her wizardry was so strong that she was able to bring the dead to the living. Question: does this prove that there is life after death? Uncle Samuel was chilling wherever he was. He even told them, "Why hast thou troubled me that I should come up?" He still remembered who he was and what the Most High Yah told him. Does this also disprove reincarnation? The woman described Samuel to Saul, and he immediately knew that it was Samuel. From that, it can be said that Samuel retained his manly form he had before his death. There are so many mysteries within the pages of Scripture. You think you're researching one topic, then you stumble upon something you never expected. There is no other God like our Elohim, Zion. Mind you, the text says gods, maybe the same gods from Joshua chapter 23, ascending out of the earth. And Samuel came forth after she saw the gods. Gods. Does this prove that every idol or works of man's hands has a spirit attached to it, or it is the physical representation of the gods whom the woman saw ascending to the earth? Continuing, by the way it's written, only the woman could see them at first. Saul asked her what she saw, meaning he nor his associates could see the gods, nor Samuel at first. This proves that there will be women, especially of the daughters of Zion, that have divining spirits in them. Y'all see what length Saul went to because the Most High stopped speaking to him? He cut off all communications with that cat, by dreams or by the prophets. Communicating by dreams will loom large in part B of this series. Please keep this in mind. But you got cult camp leaders and Christian senators saying the Most High spoke to them and told them to tell us that they need more money or power. How vain and stupid. This is because Saul had mercy upon the hybrid nation of Amalek. He refused to open that can. For that, this was not only his punishment, Saul, his sons, and the armies of the seed of Israel were given into the hands of the Philistines. 1 Chronicles chapter 10, verses 13 through 14, quote, "So Saul died for his transgressions wherein he transgressed against Elohim, against the word of Yah, for as much as he kept it not. Because Saul inquired of a wizard to seek counsel, and Samuel the prophet answered him. And he saw not Yah, so he slew him and turned the kingdom to David, the son of Jesse." End quote. He didn't hearken to the voice of the Most High Yah, which was to utterly smite them fools, Amalek, the grandson of Esau. But that's not why the Most High slew him. He transgressed against the word of Yah and against the Most High personally. Saul sat on the seat of the Most High Yah. The Most High was our first and only king until we wanted to be like the abominable nations. The main reason for Saul's death was seeking a wizard and not depending on nor trusting in the Most High Yah, but a wizard and her gods or goddesses. Zion, again, do you see the danger in not listening to the Most High? Now we have Edom and maybe even Amalek himself doing this to us. Just so we're on the same page about Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 1 states the word of Yah came to Uncle and told him to set his face against and prophesy against Mount Seir. And we all know whose lineage multiplied at Mount Seir. Uncle Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 5, quote, "Because there has been a perpetual enemy and has laid wait craftily for the house of Israel with the hand of enemies with the sword and the time of injustice at the last." End quote. This chapter is a prophecy against Mount Seir. Therefore, Esau, Amalek, all of them fools that have the power to afflict us with the hands of enemies with the sword. This means Edom has others afflicting us on his behalf, meaning Esau and his lineage are not our known enemies today. For sure, this means Esau is not the white man. The white man has lifted himself up to the stars and beyond. Yah told Edom in Obadiah, if thou should mount us up as an eagle, and if thou shouldst set thy nest among the stars, hence will I bring thee down, saith Yah. Yah was going to put holy hands and feet on them if they were to ever lift themselves up. Hence why Edom has others beating on us. Crackers, imposters, the hybrid Mexicans, and our biggest threat are other so-called blacks. And the time of injustice at the last. Edom is currently afflicting us with our known enemies in the time of injustice at the last. So questions, are we in the time of injustice? And is this time period we're in now the last? Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 29, quote, and thou shalt grope at midday as a blind man will grope in the darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and then thou shalt be unjustly treated and plundered continually, and there shall be no helper, end quote. Unjustly treated and plundered continually matches the time of injustice at the last? We all know this to be true. When certain evils happen to us, the Jew-controlled media twists it to make us the aggressor. This is going on as at this day. We know that we're the last hired but the first fired. We know that everything looks like a gun in our hands.
Nah, she taking me in the hospital. Right here. You got a gun. What'd I do? You got a gun. I don't have a gun. No! What did you do? 210. Start me another unit.
What did you do? Why did you do that? Why did you do that?
I'm sorry.
We know that EBT is our middle name. We should know that pleading to those who hate us and afflict us hold themselves guiltless, and it has never worked and has continually led to us being plundered. Most importantly, there shall be no helper. No, not the cult camps, not your church, not your spiritual leader, your money, your idols, black or white JC, no y'all only Israelite on YouTube, and of course yours truly, Fisher of Israel. They and myself are no helper to you, Zion. You better seek Yah. The Most High Yah is your only helper. You better plead and cry to him. He is your salvation, your savior, your redeemer, your rest, your fortune, your refuge, your father, your Elohim, Zion. Cry to him immediately. He and only he will save you. Malachi chapter 3 and verse 5, quote, and I will draw near to you in judgment, and I will be a swift witness against the witches, and against the adulteresses, and against them that swear falsely by my name, and against them that keeps back the hireling's wages, and them that oppress the widow, and afflict orphans, and wrest the judgment of strangers. And fear not me, saith Yah Almighty. End quote and example. The word of our Elohim Yah ain't no joke. Judgment. Yah will be a swift witness against the witches, adulteresses, those that swear falsely by his name, the cult camps and the Luciferian Christians, keeping back wages, affliction of orphans, widows, and the stranger, the Jew boy and their Talmudic ways. This upcoming ass whooping is going to be legendary. Let's pray we don't get that can open on us. Witchcraft is very real and people are practicing it on a daily basis. It has infected every aspect of our daily living, as it was at the beginning. Little man or little woman with that wand may not be playing around and dressing up as one of these abominations for that wicked ass custom Halloween. Y'all are just invoking spirits, ungodly spirits to come in and to do Yah knows what to your souls. You better cry out to the Most High. It's about to get real spooky outside and inside your own home. If the Most High Yah said it, you just know it gotta be true. Be very careful out here, Zion. Cry to the Most High and trust in him only. From the looks of it, our very souls are depending on it. Until next time, Zion, cry to the Most High and hallelujah.